All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Merely Bo, the great Z. How you living, buddy? Oh, that's not what I was hoping for on a Thursday out of you. I think a scowl out of the gates, kind of a bit of a scowl, or was it a ponder? Was it a deep thought?
No, I'm good. I got to be honest with you. I've darn near had it with this weather. I'm excited for you that you're going to be getting away.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, we got dealing with influenza, and
that brings me joy. No, Boods is sick. Everybody's sick. Like
they're all sick.
Everybody everywhere is sick. So hopefully it's not affecting you personally out there in radio land, and everybody's doing great. But no, I'm good, man. Yeah, I just can't implore you enough to watch.
I know.
Severance. I can't do it.
I couldn't start again last night because I can't start it without the blonde, and so she was dealing with Bootsy, the aftermath. So
how's he doing?
I don't know. He's in it. He's hanging. I mean, he hasn't gotten sick since night before.
See, so I feel like Bootsy has the ability to be sick genuinely, and then have that turn into like Ferris Bueller by like day 3, maybe even
that
day
is
2.
100% fact that he could turn it into Bueller. I think he can be Bueller. I think he is of the 3 children I have.
He's the most
Bueller. Yeah, by far.
I could see him being like in front of his mom, and then as soon as she's gone, he's like dancing and playing video games. He's got all his like stuff. He's like,
do you know what the test
throwing
for that
a party.
Is?
No.
Will he eat things that he otherwise loves? So in other words, or will he not eat things he otherwise loves?
He's smart enough to know not to fall for that trap.
Dude, there are certain things. The gravitational pull for him to any sort of snack or dessert is overwhelming, and I think it would break him. And I've broken him that way. Like when he tries to Bueller me, I will say to him, gosh, it's too bad you're feeling sick. I mean, we just got all this ice cream. Like, I feel like I could make a hell of a sundae right now. And he's like, well, I'm not quite that sick, Dad. Like that. I think maybe I could try it. Like, well, I can always get to the bottom of the truth that way.
If Bootsy's listening, though, Dad, wouldn't you agree? There are many varieties of sickness. This sickness has moved out of my stomach.
He's not there
and
yet.
It's moved into my head. It's now that's sinus pressure, but I can eat ice cream. In fact, my throat's sore. Yeah. That might give me some relief, the coolness of the ice cream.
Is this why Pedro had you on the yoke?
I had them. I had a lot of moves.
A lot of maneuvers?
Oh, I had some moves, yeah. My favorite, so back, I'm still of the age
wee goose.
Of mercury thermometers.
Yes. Yeah, the mercury thermometer.
I was a master of somehow getting the thermometer into the bathroom with me.
Yeah.
Hot water gets it up to
100, careful.
103, 104. Shake it down to about 100.
Yeah. How did they? I can't believe they didn't walk with you. I never got one of those that I administered my own. It was always my mother would watch me.
They gave it to me. I'd be like, I don't feel good. I got to get in the bathroom, and there it is.
Such a crafty move.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of veteran savvy. Well, yeah, now there's no
way around it.
No way around it. Yeah, it's these poor kids today.
They had they're off tomorrow. I don't know why, but they are. And today was Valentine's Day. And I was explaining to for the schools or whatever, exchange Valentines, all that. I was explaining to NBC. I'm like, probably not in 7th grade. It was probably done, but I remember in 6th grade for sure. Like you would out of cardboard build your mailbox.
Yeah, your box.
And the one I did was Paradise City. So we made, of course, Appetite for Destruction. So we had
Take Me Down to
the Paradise City. So it was a giant pink box like hotel room, and you would drop the Valentines in.
Sounds like the Don Cesar.
It did a lot look like the Don Cesar. Have that, which I've not been, but it's quite pink. And I was explaining to him, like, you do realize that wasn't 7th grade. It was probably more like 5th. But like this is, do you like me? Check yes or no. Like that, we actually did that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Like you could not wait to see what the Valentine that you would receive from a specific girl. Are we in? Are we gonna?
Do you want to go with me?
You, me, you?
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. So they not only are they not doing that, they can't even personalize the Valentines. So they just are. All the Valentines from every kid is the same, and it just says their name on it. It doesn't say to so and so from so and so. The teacher instructed them just put your name on it. That way nobody feels bad. I'm going, oh, come on. So Valentine's Day.
It's a jungle out there. Life is not.
It's tough, pal.
Life is not all kumbaya.
No. You're gonna slip and fall, baby.
Yes, and there's gonna be certain people are gonna gravitate to certain people, and that's just the way of the world, and it's okay. I mean, yeah, that was such a big deal. I mean, I got to the point in middle school where I was practically a legit origamist, and I don't even know if that's a word.
You mean like the origami, like the little, you could make the animals and stuff out of that?
Out of a letter, and then you'd have to pull this and slide this, and
that's
open up, and then it'd be like, do you want to go with me, yes or no? And then they'd have to send it back, like all the folding, and then you'd have the things where it'd be like, doot, you'd make like these little things.
What were those things with the doot?
Yeah, where you put them in, and you go open up, and then you go like this way. Yeah.
Lift this up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How do we know how to do that?
I don't know. You ask me to do it right now. No. Make some out of this paper. I got nothing.
I don't even know if I can
I'll text you.
A paper airplane.
I'll text Miss K. Do you want to go
with me? But we could really do those.
Yes or no? Oh, man, I can do it all.
That's right. The four-way thing where you do that and you'd get that sorted out. That was the way you do it. Now they just started in Snapchat and stuff.
Nana said, I didn't know about the thermometer story. Well, Nana, you know
now.
now.
You know now.
Sorry about it.
Sweet little Nate.
Yeah. Oh, baby. I mean, I was... A lot of times at that age when you were sick, like you just were sick, you threw up like Bootsy. But then you had to figure out the suffering that you went through, you had to figure out how to milk that into joy.
There was always a time for me where there was the sweet spot between milking and then I just got to get back to school.
Yeah, I want to go back to school.
Because I can't be around these people anymore.
Totally. But that's what you find.
Yeah, you got to get out of there.
It's like a vacation. A perfect vacation is one where you don't really want to leave yet, but you're also very happy to get back to your own home.
Is the perfect vacation possible this time of year here because of that last part?
I think so. There's something
even like February.
I mean, maybe
tougher sell.
This
like
is
right
an
now
ad for a sleep number, but I love my bed. I am very happy to be back in my bed.
No, but like
and get my sleep score.
You're going down to some tropical area here at the end of the month.
Like that's going to be hard. To cook. Cooking brings me joy.
Yeah. That I'll ask you when you're on your way back from your.
I mean, I've done it once.
Yeah. It's tough. This time of year, it's tough.
Yeah. Living out of either a hotel or even an Airbnb, which can be very nice, or a VRBO, a Verbo.
Sure.
It can all be great, but at the same time, it's just not your house. And like
fact.
And I enjoy my life in my house and my routine. I enjoy all of those things.
I love all of those things. I don't love
the gym.
I don't love the weather. This is tough sell.
No.
Tough sell.
Oh my goodness. When you come back through the clouds and you're like, what is this, Hoth?
It really is. No,
he doesn't want
we're in the middle of it for a while, by the way.
Dude, it's never
no end in sight.
This is the worst winter I can remember.
Me too.
Not in terms of we've had winters where we've had more, blizzards here, blizzards there, and
more snow accumulation.
Total whiteout.
Sure,
but in terms of just bitter cold snow and ice on the ground, always.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's terrible, Kenny.
Do you know that this weekend? Well, let's do this one bit of NFL, and then I'll come back to this weekend. The Combine invites have officially been released. Travis Hunter plans to attend the NFL Scouting Combine as a corner. So this is interesting because all of the conversation around him has been wide receiver. When people rate him, they rate him primarily as a wide receiver. Kuiper did this. Jeremiah did this. Many have done it. And he is instead going as corner at the Combine.
I think he has a better chance to be a top 4 pick as a wide receiver than he does as a corner.
This is my theory on why he chose this, or why he chose corner. Well, it might just be where he's more comfortable. So it might just be as simple as that. Now, if you're playing 4D chess with it, I do want, obviously wide receiver makes more money than corner. But as we've talked about in the last several years, there is a glut of wide receiver talent that is coming into the league every year. There are more wide receivers at a high end than there are corners year in and year out. So I wonder if him and his team are looking at this and saying, hey, this is going to zag, and we're going to, if you are a true shutdown, lockdown corner, you will be able to be compensated in the vicinity of wide receiver, and you're closer to being that than you are being Tyreek Hill.
I mean, it feels like he's pretty much the consensus number 1 wide receiver in this class.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's the number one weapon. I don't know that he's is he as polished as the McMillan kid at Arizona?
McMillan's just
and
bigger.
He's big.
McMillan's bigger.
Like he's not like Travis Hunter is not Jamar Chase. He's not Justin Jefferson. Like that's not what he is. He's not Garrett Wilson.
People didn't even know Jefferson was this good.
No, Jamar they did, and Garrett Wilson they did, and
Garrett Wilson's been.
It's been tough, but those guys they knew were everybody knew. Malik Neighbors, those guys, like you could see him and go, yeah, that's. I don't think there is that with Travis. I think Travis is just viewed as a weapon, and I don't know. I kind of read that. My guess is that it could be what the second part I said, but it could also just be he's really comfortable at corner and more natural there, and has a chance to shine even brighter there.
I also think there's a part of it that I think when I hear that, what I think is he's like, I want to play both ways, and I'm going to show you that this is why you can't take me off field. You all know how good I am a receiver. Watch the tape. Not to say that that's not true of him as a corner as well. It is, but
it was probably more of a corner than a receiver at Jackson State in his first year at Colorado. This year where he played really both all the time, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
He only got beat once deep. Middle of the season, I can't remember who it was that beat him. He got beat deep once at corner all year. But it's hard because how do you judge one against the other when you're doing both?
Yeah.
No one's ever done it.
Nobody has ever, for good reason. It's hard.
Could just be like Dion too. Like that's his mentor, that's his hero. Like Dion was a corner and returned punts and played a little bit of offense, but it was mostly a corner. It is a mailbag edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. Get your mailbag questions in at Browns under. How should we do this, G-Man? No Gibbe. G-Man's here. Should we do hashtag Ask CBD? What should be the way we do this?
Yeah, I like hashtag Ask CBD.
And then you'll be able to track it down?
Yeah, sure.
I see that Ned is already on it.
Ned's on it.
He's locked in. Preston's already got a good one as well. So they're starting to pop in a little bit on that side of things. All right, this weekend they are celebrating 50 years of Saturday Night Live.
I know. I'm kind of excited about it.
I'm very excited about it. You and I are men. We are 40. I'm curious if your relationship with the show is similar to mine, and I'll give you mine. My relationship with Saturday Night Live was the first show that I remember watching young that my parents would let me stay up to, my mom would let me stay up to watch Saturday Night Live. Not all of it, but I could stay up to Weekend Update when I was pretty little. Yeah. It was one where I knew I wasn't getting all of the jokes, and I knew that perhaps some of it was a little inappropriate, but I didn't know necessarily why it was when I was really young. And then once I started getting in on the joke, it was so much fun. It was the first watercolor show or water cooler show for me. Like I remember watching it on Saturday night in middle school and even early on in high school. And then on Monday at school, that's all we talked about. Like, did you see Sprockets? Did you see the Mike Myers in the bathtub? Like those skits, like what was his name? With
Simon.
The drawings. Simon's with his drawings.
Yeah,
like
cheeky monkey.
That stuff, like all of that was like water cooler on Monday. And then it was kind of the one-stop pop culture place for catch-all. There was no social media, so like, in order to know like what people thought of,
like the news,
humorists that thought of like the news, celebrities, like they'd make fun of all those things.
Yep.
And so there was that part of it too, and it was so influential to me as a kid, and I think to our generation. And it's not that now, but for us, I think it was one of the most important, if not the most important, pop culture piece of our life. I
don't have a problem with that. I'm actually very excited for the special and all the ads they put out there. I'm excited about as well. It's a powerhouse. And I even think even today, while you would say this is no longer, I think there are various kind of like glory years casts. And I'm sure somebody's put together a list, and we could, if we have time, we could even do that at some point, higher or lower on
the question that I got
the casts.
The task assigned from G-Man was, what did you guys say? You guys need to fill. What did you say?
G-Man.
You guys need to fill up the first say.
G-Man.
What was it?
It's a little too PG-13 to say.
Yeah, that's true. It was PG-13. Here's what you should say. Here's what you put if you have a segment like that in the future, just put all on you or all you guys.
I thought we were not. That's a disciple move. To do what he just did. All on you.
All on you.
No, come on, G-Man.
G-Man.
We are big Bs. Don't get us wrong.
Go ahead to your point on the current cast.
No, I'd say even though it is not, this isn't, I don't think, probably a top 10 cast or, considered a golden age cast, but it is still, the news segment is still, I think, such a touch point, something you want to watch when it's live every week. They're still able to do incredible things with the monologue. It's still very good, but it's not, you think of some of the powerhouse casts. I'm going to see if I can find a definitive ranking.
The casts were we can do our own. I mean, you and I could do
but it would help me cast.
You could do, here's a couple of things. Number one, the casts were much smaller then, that now they've ballooned. Number two, like if you were on Saturday Night Live, you kind of only did Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
You didn't see you anywhere else. They had some exceptions, like the one year Eddie Murphy was on. He was a phenomenon. He was filming like 48 Hours in Beverly Hills Cop, and John Belushi had a little of that freedom, and maybe Farley did a little. But for the most part, if you were on Saturday Night Live, that's the job.
Yeah,
you weren't leading a series on Hulu.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that was a big difference in the way that it is now.
So it's interesting. I put this in here, and I thought I would be able to get like casts ranked. So kind of like the generations of casts ranked. And they only rank as I can find are by individuals.
So there's like the original, like the Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, all those guys. And then Dick Ebersol actually took over for Lorne Michaels for a short stint. And that's like when a lot of those Second City guys came in, Bill Murray, all those guys came in after that. And then Eddie Murphy was like a one-man bonanza.
Yep.
I think he was there 1 or 2 years, that's it. And then that gave way, I want to say in the 11th season, they fired the entire cast and started over. And only kept John Lovitz, and that led to like Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, like that group, those guys. That led with that.
Brilliant.
And then that led to, you think about David Spade and Farley and Sandler and those guys, and then that led to Will Ferrell.
Yes,
and all that crew. So that was kind of like a 15-year when you and I were from elementary school to college, where was
loaded. Will Ferrell started in '95.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got into like Maya Rudolph, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey in the early 2000s. So this is a ranking.
I'll tell you, the next one's pretty good too. Whatever age group that was that had Sudeikis, Hader, Fred Armisen, like that, and Andy Samberg, like that whole group.
Fred Armisen,
right?
Armisen,
that whole group.
So that's 2005 to 13. Yeah, that's
that's a strong group.
All right, so this is USA Today did this. And this is their 50 best cast members of all time. Would you like me to start at 1 or start at 50?
50 is a lot. How about we just do the
Or do you want to start at 20 and go down? Or do you want to go
before
one
you do theirs, write down your personal top 5.
This is exactly what I wanted.
This is what you're getting.
Yeah, this is what you get.
It's a beautiful Thursday.
Big B's do. Oh, man, this is so hard. All right, we're writing our top. I'm just
our
top 5.
Personal top 5.
Top five. Top 5.
This last spot's a tricky one.
For me, I'm going to kind of skew probably a little more recent, I think, which is only fair, just because that was my time.
All right, I got my personal top 5.
All right, oh man,
mine are all from when it mattered the most to me. So nobody recent is on mine.
Yeah.
All right, I got Mike Myers.
Okay.
I just think his character stuff was unbelievable. From Wayne, Sprockets, Simon, just some of the craziest stuff was when he was. So I got Mike Myers on mine. I got Norm Macdonald on mine.
Oh man, Norm.
Big Norm guy. His weekend
how
updates.
Could he not be?
When Don Ohlmeyer's running NBC and he tells Norm, you can't do jokes about the OJ case, and then he goes on and does jokes about the OJ case. And
yes, he did.
And calls him a murderer and all that. Then he played Burt Reynolds on Celebrity Jeopardy, which is unbelievable. It's a big hat.
Turd Ferguson.
It's unbelievable.
It's funny.
So it's funny. It's a hat. It's a big hat.
Yeah.
It's funny. Phil Hartman. The versatility of Hartman's incredible. Like his Bill Clinton was
Hartman is
unbelievable.
All right, so far we have no overlap. But
and then my last
all
two,
of them, I believe.
My last two are Will Ferrell and Chris Farley.
Okay, so the only overlap we have is Ferrell. And this is just what popped into my mind, and I love everybody that you said, by the way. So I had Will Ferrell. I had Daryl Hammond.
He was great.
Daryl Hammond. I don't think
he could play so many impressions he did.
Oh, my goodness. He's unbelievable. The great Sandu.
Yeah.
Love the great Sandu. Tina Fey.
Tina Fey was strong.
Tina Fey was strong. And then I wrote, and this is more recency bias because I've certainly kept up with it over the years, Kate McKinnon. I think Kate McKinnon is hilarious. And for a while, she
owned it.
She carried the show. She was the show.
What era is she? Is she like after Hader and them, or did she overlap with them?
No, McKinnon.
She overlapped with Hader a little
briefly.
bit.
Hader was incredible.
She was
I just
12
didn't
to
watch it as
22.
much.
She was 12 to 22.
Oh, wow. 10-year run.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, she was the star. So I'll just do their top 20.
All right, go ahead.
We'll go from 20 to 1. They've got number 20, Cecily Strong.
She's relatively new, right?
No, she had a 10-year run, 12 to 22. She's done now.
Okay, relative. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Hader from 2005 to 2013. Tina Fey from
was incredible.
2000 to 2006. Hammond from 95 to 2009.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, just Sean Connery
That's a
on
run.
Jeopardy is enough.
Yeah.
And he also did. I feel like he also did Bill Clinton.
I think he did after Hartman's Clinton was unbelievable. When he had the jogging shorts and he'd go into McDonald's and suck down as he was talking to the people. It was
unreal. Jan Hooks is number 16 from 86 to 91.
I always thought she was, as a kid, I thought she was the one on the cast that you thought was kind of smoking hot. She did a great bit with Mike Myers where she was like his number 2 on a talk show host when he would yell at people. That was great. All right, go ahead.
15, Rachel Dratch. I mean, Dratch is a good one.
The meat in the hot tub scene with Farrell is unbelievable.
The Shanks?
The Lovas.
The Clavins.
Yeah.
Professor Clavin.
It's unbelievable.
Love
That's high for Dratch, for me. That's a little high.
She also had Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are pretty good. 14, Bill Murray. Before my time, 77 to 80.
I'm sure he was amazing, but before my time.
I thought about this one a lot. She would certainly be on Miss K's top 5. Kristen Wiig. I mean, Target lady.
Hits and misses for me with her. Like sometimes some of it just came off as weird, but she was
fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Number 12.
There's one I felt really bad about. I'm curious if it's in the top 12. I bet he is.
Number 12, Kenan Thompson.
No.
I say no, but the guy's been on for 22 years.
I know. I've just never.
And he looks the same.
He looks the same for 20 some years.
I've never thought he was a star.
I've never thought he was funny.
I think he's funny. I've never thought
he does that one bit like "What's up with that?" That was kind of a funny bit that he did.
Yeah,
yeah.
Number 11, Dana Carvey.
That's
I thought about
Dana
him.
was because you got Church Lady. He played HW. Was unbelievable. Ross Perot.
Yep.
Yeah. Dana Carvey. I thought about him.
Dana Carvey was great. Maya Rudolph is number 10.
She's pretty great.
Maya Rudolph is great. Number 9, Dan Aykroyd.
Before my time, but I believe you.
8, Kate McKinnon. Okay, so she made top 10 on this list.
Yeah,
she's
unreal. She's really unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Her character in Office Christmas Party is amazing.
Yeah.
Number 7, Chris Farley.
Yeah. He's a comet.
6, Amy Poehler.
She was pretty.
She's great.
Yeah.
You had Poehler, Tina Fey together at the same. I mean, that's
apex.
Yeah. 5, Will Ferrell. Yeah. Duh. 4, John. See, this is skewing older. 4, John Belushi.
Yeah.
3, Gilda Radner. Number 2, Phil Hartman. Had a baby.
Hartman was unbelievable, man.
Unbelievable.
He could do anything.
Yeah. His Sinatra was so good.
Sinatra was great.
Oh, man.
That's what it was. It was him
he was
as Sinatra yelling at other people.
Yes, it was Sinatra's show.
Yeah, it was Sinatra's show. And he was it was like the McLaughlin group, except it was Sinatra's show. Yep. And Jan Hooks was on there.
Number 1, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie it's short, though. It was like 1 or 2 years, right?
80 to 84. So before,
it was really that long? Okay.
Before we were really had an opportunity.
I have no doubt that he was unbelievable.
So hold on. So not listed in the ones that we read. So
no Norm.
Hartman, Farrell, Farley was. Tina Fey, was she?
Yeah, she was on there.
Fey, McKinnon, Hammond, Farrell. So no, Sandu was in top 20. Myers and so let's find where they come in at. The great Sandu, 21, just missed. Come on.
Yeah.
22 is Fred Armisen. Fred Armisen was really good.
Yeah, him and Wig were like perfect with each other because they were both. Sometimes it was
Sandberg,
just so
Gasteyer, Norm's 25.
Norm, man.
Chevy 26. Molly Shannon 27. She was strong.
She was crazy good.
Mike Myers 28. Will Forte 29. Fallon was pretty good too. Fallon 30. Fallon could have been on my list. Chris Rock, A.D. Bryant, Heidi Gardner, Tim Meadows, Leslie Jones, Vanessa Bayer, Lorraine Newman, Tracy Morgan maybe should be. I'm Brian Fellow.
That's a very good one.
He was 38, though. That feels low for him.
50 years, man. That's a lot of talent.
Beck Bennett, 39. Jaden Curtin, 40. Seth Myers, 41. Mikey Day, 42. Sudeikis, 43. Sudeikis was great, too. Sudeikis is 05 to 13. He was in a good run. Taryn Killam, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, 45. I don't remember her at all from SNL.
Before us, I
82 to 85. Chris Parnell. Parnell's pretty good. Nora Dunn. Sherry O'Terry.
She was great. The cheerleader
48.
thing with
Cheerleader
Farrell.
with Farrell. Yep, that was her big one. Lovett's 49. Bowen Yang, 50.
Was there anything that Farrell did that it felt like it all worked? Whatever thing they put him in his stretch, it all worked.
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, man. Yeah, Farrell's my favorite. He's my number one.
He's my number one,
for
too.
sure.
Yeah. Farley has those remarkable several characters, but I felt like Farrell was kind of a combination
He could be Robert Goulet.
He was a combination of of Farley with the physical humor, but then also Hartman, and that he could play anything.
Anybody.
You know, like his W was
great.
Unbelievable.
Great.
So much fun. Yeah, so much fun. Yeah,
I just think W is fun, and so
of course he's fun. You see him at the funeral for.
I send that GIF
to Carter.
I send that GIF all the time.
You know that his wife is going, George. It's a funeral, and he's going like he got caught.
Who was he making those eyes at? Do we know?
Probably. I don't know. Could have been Obama.
My two favorite ones are that one where you've got that have happened recently is, and I don't know who he was pointing at. The one where Trump points to the guy and then he goes. Is hilarious.
That's amazing.
And then where Dub just goes,
yeah, that one.
Yeah, he smiles. He gives him the eyes.
Like he got caught.
Yeah, he got caught.
Like he's mischievous.
I want to know who's on the other end of those two, though. Those are two of my.
Yeah.
Those two, and then the falling out of the chair, McMahon. Cleared by the federal probe. Civil is still going. Not saying he's a great guy, but very funny gift.
Not saying he's a great guy. Good way to get that in there. How do you think they start the actual show? Do you think they go with because you could bring back Chevy and Eddie and have them lead it. You could do a cold open. You could do on the 40th. Remember they had Jerry Seinfeld was up there, and then LD was in the audience. I guess there's 300 tickets for the live performance. That's it, and it's the toughest ticket in the history of Hollywood. Everybody who's ultra famous wants to be there, and nobody gets a +1. You're all going by yourself because it's only 300 tickets. Wow! So everybody in the audience will be a star. You have 50 years of cast who want to be there.
And that's happening.
I think that's Saturday night.
It is Saturday night.
Or is it Sunday night? I don't know.
For some reason, I thought it was on Sunday.
There's something Sunday, but I don't know if it's that or if it's an actual episode of Saturday Night Live. I'm not sure.
It feels like it'd be odd to have it not on a Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. I would agree with you on that. Those are your hot topics of the day presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. We'll go around the sports world coming up next. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily presented by Ballybet, official sports winning partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right. I saw this. Ryan Burr, formerly of ESPN, he was at Golf Channel for a little while. I think he did some stuff on BTN. He had a tweet that the Steelers have reportedly asked the Jacksonville Jaguars if there would be an interest in trading Trevor Lawrence. Now, before any of the rest of this happened, I said it's interesting how you really have to pay attention to words and semantics, because they're important. These things are important. It is one thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or quite honestly any team in this league, to call a team that has a new coach and a new general manager and say, hey, do you like your quarterback? If not, we'd be very interested. Right. It's entirely something else for Jacksonville to have an interest in trading him, which they don't. And why would they?
Of course they're not. And I don't think Liam Cohen takes that job. No, and no. Albright reported, as a few others, that he took that job because he likes Trevor Lawrence. That was the main appeal in the job.
Of course.
Yes. So that's where he's at.
I would tell you that probably every team in the NFL, that's aggressive, any team in the NFL that does not have a lock, stock franchise quarterback would call Jacksonville.
Yeah, of course.
And say, hey, any chance?
Yeah. Open for business?
Coaching change? Do you love him? You sure you love him? Maybe you want to start with your own guy.
Right.
If Jacksonville's shopping him, the first call they would make is here.
I would believe
because they're not going to trade him to.
I believe that right
to Tennessee.
Yep.
So if they were trying to shop him, they would call here for number 2 overall. But they're not shopping.
By the way, Enough from the Clown said he's pretty sure SNL is going to be Wednesday night at 7, taped, of course. Fair. Good point. Yeah.
Well played.
Good tweeting.
Yeah. Very good job at him. He gets the show.
Clown is
ESPN Jaguars
tremendous.
Reporter Michael DeRocco reported that a team source said there's no chance they'll trade Lawrence and called the idea ridiculous. No kidding.
Yeah. Duh.
But that's and also like what was funny was like the Steeler he even had like the compensation as a first and a second. First and a second. It'd at least be 3 ones.
Yeah.
Like that's the jumping off point. 3 ones.
Would be my guess. I mean, he has been paid, but yeah, it's not happening. So it's not even worth discussing.
The New York Jets made it official. They informed Aaron Rodgers they're going in a different direction. They tweeted it out. There was also some words from owner Woody Johnson that, quite honestly, I don't really believe. In terms of he's always welcome, I'm very appreciative, so forth and so on. That just doesn't back up with what we've seen. So I think they're trying to do a little bit of cleaning of the image there with the Jets. But he's available, and once the new league year opens, he can go anywhere he wants.
I don't know where he's going to go. It doesn't really. I don't know. I don't think it. Do you think it moves the needle anywhere?
I think it becomes. I thought it was very interesting what Bob Wischusen had said when he was on with us, when he said that
he could still play.
Yeah, the thing that even made me kind of perk up a little bit more is when he said that Aaron really believed in the West Coast offense of this is the Jets offense. We run this no matter what the defense is doing.
Yep.
And was not really open to a week-to-week game plan predicated on what the other team is doing, which led to all of those back shoulder throws and all of that
makes
stuff.
No sense, by the way.
Of course it makes no sense. So I think to me, I mean, the only two that make the most sense are Pittsburgh and the Raiders. So when you say, would it move the needle? If he signed in Pittsburgh, would it make me a little nervy?
Yeah.
It would. It would make me a little nervy. I think he could be an improvement over what they got from Russ last year, and I think he'd be an improvement over Justin Fields. So, yeah, I think his ceiling is still relatively high.
And Pickens brawling.
I could see him brawling with Pickens. I could see him brawling with Arthur Smith. I don't know how there would have to be such a conversation between him and Tomlin because we were at that Hall of Fame game when they played the Hoff, and when the Hoff was going in against us, you were calling it. We were there as a family, and it was pretty obvious, like on the sidelines, that dude's running the whole operation. And that was before Hard Knocks came out, so you didn't know. But I could just tell the way that things were on that sideline, like everybody was answering to him.
Yeah.
That won't be the case this time around. That certainly wouldn't be the case in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's over.
Which leads me to where I think he's going to end up, which is Vegas.
That makes sense, yeah.
Brady, over it. Lifestyle, Las Vegas, pretty good. Iconic franchise, that works.
Yep.
Cool uniform, all of that. One really ace weapon in Bowers.
Yeah.
Dome.
Very nice.
Versus weather. all of those factors to me.
Yep.
And Pete Carroll, whose offensive coordinator is Chip Kelly now, fresh from Ohio State. Chip will work. He's malleable. He's not. This is what we are. Like, he would work with him, and I think there'd be some mutual respect. And then Pete over the top would be far more tolerant and known as a player's coach and someone who would bend a little bit. To me, that makes a little bit of sense. Now they'd have to find. I don't know what their cap space is. I don't know where they are with. They got to get him a weapon. Like, you'd have to sign T. Higgins. You'd have to find something if they were able to. They could bring back Devontae Adams, I suppose. But like, that to me, it feels like Raiders. It feels like a Raiders move too.
It does feel like a Raiders move. The question is, if Pete Carroll has the choice of Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, which he does,
maybe he will.
Don't you think he's going to go with the Russ he knows?
You would think. But if it's not those two, then where is it for Rodgers?
I think the Steelers have been the betting favorite. I think Steelers are definitely the betting favorite. It's an interesting situation because you're right. There are not a whole lot of teams that probably will be biting. I think it's very possible that Rodgers doesn't play again.
Yeah, I think that's in play.
I mean, I think if you were asking me where Aaron Rodgers plays quarterback this year, I'd probably say Steelers 1, Raiders 2, nowhere 3. Like a team that would maybe kind of make sense to me, but I don't know how they do it or if he would be willing to do it or if they think that or what their true belief in their current quarterback is. But like, I'd take a shot if I was the Miami Dolphins.
Well, I tell you,
you give him Tyreek, you give him Jalen Waddle, you give him Jonnu Smith and Devin Achane, and say, given your history, we just cannot count on you. It's unreasonable for us to count on you to be available for the season.
Yeah, and I think if you do that, then you're saying the end. Obviously, that's the end of Tua in Miami. Is probably what that is
for sure. I don't think they would.
No, I don't. I tell you, the one place to me that I could see it, and I'm not. The irony of this is not lost on me. Is Minnesota too? If there is a setback for JJ, because he had the second. Remember, he had the second.
And they just signed.
Injury.
Do you think they just signed Darnold?
But if he commands a 3-year deal somewhere else. I don't think they want to get in the 3-year deal world with Darnold because they want to give it to McCarthy sooner rather than later.
The question for Darnold would be, is my goal right now just to cash in? Or
yes,
if I'm Darnold, am I open to, I know this system, I know it works, I know I'm good in it, I know they've got Jefferson, I know they've got Addison, I'll get a full year with Hawkinson this year. Maybe I sign another 1-year deal for a bit of money and know that I can cash in after this year, or it gives me my best chance to actually win and be something. I would wonder if I was Minnesota. It just feels like Kevin O'Connell has done a tremendous job from a culture perspective.
Yeah.
He and Kwesi. Aaron Rodgers is more than just Aaron Rodgers. It's not Madden. Put him in there and, you get upgraded arm strength and blah, 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 blah. He is a culture force that I would imagine is rowing in a, we'll call it, more unique direction than the collective is currently rowing in Minnesota.
Fair.
So,
yeah.
How much better would you think if you're Minnesota? How much better do I think he would play than Darnold if I could get Darnold 1-year deal? Or, quite frankly, McCarthy.
The way that I could see him ending up there is if Darnold signs somewhere else and McCarthy's not ready. And then you bring him in for...
What if McCarthy is ready? And what if they say, you know what, I kind of like what we're doing with Darnold. Now, I don't know how they would say that given the way that it petered out at the end where it became like, oh, that's Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
But is there a world in which they're willing to trade McCarthy for a very valuable asset and or draft pick?
Hard to imagine it based on how they spoke of him in camp and what they believed in him, and he was their pick. I think it would take a lot. And my hunch is they want to go that direction. I mean, he was going to start here before he got hurt. I mean, that happened here, and he was going to take all the ones reps that week here. We knew that. So hard to imagine a scenario where they would.
I agree.
It's hard to. I guess the root of this is it's hard to find a landing spot for him that's clean.
The Steelers or the Steelers.
But even that is a cultural test on him. Like I don't know, would he sign up for that? for like the Steeler way. I don't know. Like the Raiders are malleable.
I'd rather him go to the Raiders.
Yeah.
I'm not all that interested in him going to I'm not all that interested in him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right.
He definitely makes them more dangerous. I mean, anybody who says different is that's silliness.
It is, yeah. All right, Joe Burrow was on Pardon My Take and continued to reiterate his comments about the salary cap. Here is Burrow on PMT.
You understand the cap?
I mean, not really, kind of.
Because we don't think that it exists.
Way more than we do.
Yeah.
Well, definitely some teams seem to make it feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Saints have just pretended it doesn't exist for a while now.
And the Eagles are paying everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that seems like the way, whatever they're doing.
It requires an ownership group that is liquid and is willing to spend cash to allow you to restructure and kick things forward. The two teams that kick things forward the most are us and the Eagles. Now, the Eagles have had the success for it, but they're going to pay a price down the line. The Browns have not had the success that they wanted with that kind of an all-in approach, and they're going to have to pay for it. We are going to have to pay for it, and you can keep kind of kicking it down, and the thought is, what was, we'll call it, 50 cents on the dollar now in 5 years is going to be 30 cents because of the
salary cap gets bigger,
keeps
and bigger.
going up and bigger, and more money and more money. So that's kind of where you're at right now. It's just not happening in Cincinnati.
No.
And that's for him, unfortunately, that's what he has to deal with, is that this is something that is not happening for Joe Burrow. Yes, the cap is malleable when you have liquid ownership who is willing to spend that money.
I do wonder if Cincinnati and the NFL just changed this rule. They're the poster child for private equity, influx of cash. Here's 10% of the team for $500 million, and
yes,
then they could use that.
It doesn't feel like
their brand.
That's their way.
No, not at all. Bengals leading tackler Jermaine Pratt has reportedly requested a trade. Pratt was close to defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, who was fired following the season.
That was the guy we wanted, and he's become a stud there.
He has.
I'm pretty sure it's back-to-back 100-plus tackle seasons. I can say that 90% confidently without looking it up, but I'll look it up now. Been a very good player, and he also knows, you know why he wants a trade? He's not going to get paid. And the guys like to get paid in this league, and I don't blame them one bit.
No.
Yeah, Jermaine Pratt, 118. He's had more tackles every year in the league. 76 as a rookie, 89, 91, 99, 118, 143. He's had at least 2 interceptions in 3 straight seasons. He's forced at least 2 fumbles in 3 of the last 4 seasons, and he's got 3 sacks over the last 3 years. He averages 6 tackles for loss. I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Productive off-ball linebacker and solid in coverage. 19 passes defense the last 3 seasons.
All right, coming up next, we will rank the new head coaching hires based off of the Athletics rankings of those hires. That's coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today. Get $50 back in bonus bets when you place your first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. The Athletic ranked the head coaching hires best Mike Vrabel to worst Brian Schottenheimer. So you got Vrabes number 1 on the list.
I mean, are these?
Do you have the list, G-Man?
Yeah,
Do you have it? Do we have the list?
I got it. Yep.
Got it?
Yep.
Where is it?
Right
Where is it? Where is it? Go ahead. Oh, here it is. You got a full printout.
Yeah, full printout from the G-Man. 1, Vrabes. 2, Ben Johnson. Tied for 2, Ben Johnson and Pete Carroll. 4, Aaron Glenn. 5, Kellen Moore. 6, Liam Cohen. And 7, Brian Schottenheimer. I've seen grades ranging from A+ for Vrabel to F- for Schottenheimer.
What makes people think that Schottenheimer is an F- and Liam Cohen isn't? Just because Cohen's ascent is quicker?
I think Cohen's ascent is quicker. Tampa was incredibly productive. You know, the guy that was running that offense left to go be the head coach of Carolina. And as the season went on, it seemed like Dave Canales got Bryce Young playing good football. And then Liam Cohen was very successful there. His name came
Bake
up.
got 2 guys hired.
2 guys hired. That's right. That's true.
Yeah, I here's I guess where I'm at. The only thing I know for sure is Mike Vrabel will work. Like you'd bet anything on that. And I think Pete Carroll will work. I don't know that situation will work. That's a tough roster spot, but I think he's a culture tornado.
Yep.
And he will have a very positive impact on Vegas and their and the way that they go about their business. But Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Kellen Moore, Liam Cohen, Brian Schottenheimer, man, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, you want to run Sirianni from Philly a month into the season, then he won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He had one of the worst opening press conferences a coach has ever had.
That was up there with Gase.
Yeah. Just like, what is going on? Like
Gannon.
Gase is another one. Gase was viewed in the exact same way that Ben Johnson was. Like, he could have got any job he wanted. The whole league wanted to hire him.
The one slight difference, and I don't think it's slight, but the one I would say bigger difference is that he got that for working with Peyton Manning.
He did.
Who may as well have been the offensive coordinator on the field. Where no disrespect to Jared Goff, who I think is quite good and I thought he was quite good since he entered the league, he's not Peyton Manning.
No, he's not. But like with Liam Cohen, so he's 1 year offensive coordinator at Kentucky. He's the offensive coordinator with the Rams, but not really. McVay calls the plays. And then it's only 1 year as the offensive coordinator at Tampa Bay. And that's enough. Like Ben Johnson got a little more proven track record, but there's a ton of talent.
It just goes to show.
There is no, I guess my point is, so for people to argue so vehemently that Brian Schottenheimer is going to fail, and I was probably one of those people like, really? Brian Schottenheimer? That's who the Cowboys are hiring? It seems so weird. But like so too is Liam Cohen, who was an offensive coordinator at Kentucky 3 or 4 years ago.
To me, the only one of
It's crazy.
Ben Johnson has been kind of a name the last few years.
Yeah.
And so you see it. I think that one makes a little bit of sense to me, and we'll see how he goes there. Vrabes is the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll is, I think, an excellent fit as well. And then beyond that, we'll kind of just have to see how it goes. Vrabel, Ben Johnson's kind of that, the rising star that he's the it candidate.
Yeah.
And that you're hoping is, the McVay. What we don't know about him, or what I don't know about him, is just where he is as a culture leader of men, all of that
Two
stuff.
types of guys you can be. You can be follow me to freedom, Braveheart guy, or you can be absurdly innovative. I mean, I'm going to put you in the best position to succeed schematically, and then therefore you are going to get paid. Those are the two. You got to be one of those, or the best, or a combination of both.
Yep.
Kyle's probably a combination of both. McVay seems to be a combination of both. You can be both, but to get the job, you're one or the other.
Yep. And I think Aaron Glenn's going to be a good culture leader.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. He was with us here.
A lot of accountability there.
Absolutely. Now I think Saleh was good at that too. I think that Saleh, it's very different when you're dealing with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and also like he's probably the best example of he took that job when they drafted Wilson, Zach Wilson, right?
Was he there he was there for 3 years?
He was there 3 years.
Yeah, he was there 1 year before, at least one year before.
I think he was there for Zach Wilson's rookie year.
Okay.
And so they had a high pick. They had some young talent. It looked like a good job, and so you took it. Wilson wasn't who they thought he would be, and it derailed his time there. That's what makes Mike in New England so perfect, because
He
they
comes in
already
as the
have the
quarterback.
quarterback. They already have the cap space. He knows the owner. He knows all of it.
So he was 21, 22, 23, and then 24 he was out for Saleh.
Yeah. All right, one team that does not need a quarterback is the Buffalo Bills. Jay Skursky continues our tour around the AFC with the Bills and a big offseason in Buffalo. That's coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk and Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. We continue our AFC team review and off-season preview on the Twisted Tea Hotline, presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it Twisted Cleveland. Jay Skursky joins us, Bills beat writer at the Buffalo News. Jay, thank you so much for taking the time. Is the fan base over it yet, or did the way that the Super Bowl ended just salt the wound even more that there was opportunity lost here this year?
No, I think the Super Bowl gave them some
the other way,
or some. Yeah. I mean, the fact that that the Chiefs finally lost. I think Bills fans had a chance to celebrate that. I mean, they're obviously tired of losing to Kansas City in the postseason, but I do think that the Super Bowl was sort of a symbolic turning of the page, if you will, regardless of the result. I think that would have been true. I don't know, if the result of that game made Bills fans feel better or worse. I think maybe they looked at it and said, boy, that Eagles team was a real juggernaut, and we might have had a hard time even if we did get there. So, I think it took a while, but I do think they are over it and looking forward to the combine and free agency and the draft now.
The news just that is in the, in the news today is that James Cook, as players who play very well, leads the league 16 rushing touchdowns. Now he wants to get paid, and this is a team that isn't necessarily in the best cap space, and we know that certainly with the Browns that is all malleable. But what did you make of Cook's very large contract request and demand? And is this a situation you think that can be worked out, or is this where they say, okay, well then we'll reload and go with Ray Davis?
Oh, no, I don't think they're anywhere near that. I mean, I don't – it's early in the off season. I mean, listen, Cook deserves to get paid. He had a great year. I don't fault him at all for wanting to cash in, particularly at that position. We know the shelf life for running backs in the NFL is very short, and James Cook should do whatever he can to maximize his earnings. That being said, he's still under contract next season, and the Bills have the opportunity or the option, I guess, to use the franchise tag on him in 2026 if they decide they want to go that route. So I don't know that the player, even though he's coming off of a great season, has a ton of bargaining power right now. And honestly, I don't think it's a high priority for Brandon Beane at this moment. I mean, maybe before the start of the season they could get something done, but I'd be shocked if there was an extension at any point between now and, let's say, June. I mean, Brandon Beane's got to worry about – he's got to get under the cap. He's got to worry about getting space to, sign his draft picks and then be active in free agency. So I think the priority for this team is to take care of those things. Then you start to worry about it and looking at extensions. So I don't think that's anything that's going to be happening overnight or in the next few weeks or anything like that.
Jay, why did Amari Cooper not have a bigger impact over there? When we traded him over there, Nathan and I assumed that away we go. He would go nuts. He'd be a reliable target. It just didn't happen. What from your read, why didn't it?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The Amari Cooper side of it. Why we were shocked how little of an impact he had over there. Why?
Yeah. Well, he got hurt early on. His first game, I thought he did well. He had a touchdown, and I believe it was in the second game out in Seattle. He suffered a wrist injury. He tried to play through it. We found out after the season that the injury potentially could have required surgery, which would have, and I'm assuming, ended his season or at least come very close to ending his season. So I think he gets full marks for playing hurt. How much did it impact him when he got back? That's hard to say because you look at the game against Los Angeles, I think it was week 14, maybe week 15, he had 14 targets. And so clearly, he had a role in the offense at times, just I guess depending on game plan. But for me, I think, the injury played into it. I think sometimes we see players, get traded and go to a new location and fit in right away, but it doesn't always happen. Right. And I think, building chemistry with Josh Allen, the amount of time that he missed because of the injury in practice, I think all of that factored in. You don't know where the trust level was with those two and with Allen in particular when throwing to Cooper. He did make some really good catches, but in terms of the volume, in terms of even the play time, it wasn't what I don't think anyone really expected when the Bills acquired him. I thought, and many others thought it was going to look more like a number one type of a receiver, and it really never panned out that way.
Yeah, he certainly was that when he was with the Browns a year ago, 1,250 yards. Josh Allen wins the MVP, and well-deserved, and I think part of the thing we're talking about with Josh, and maybe one of the reasons why, even though Lamar had a better season, he certainly had a better supporting cast. How do you see that? James Cook obviously was very good. No 1,000-yard receivers amongst the group. No real number one receiver amongst the group. Dalton Kincaid, I think, was probably below expectations this year. How do you kind of see that pass-catching group or that skill group around Allen headed into 2025, and what changes, additions do you expect to be made there?
Well, they got to get a guy that can stretch the field. They did not have that vertical threat in this offense, and so I think that's priority number one. I think that Dalton Kincaid, again, similar to Cooper, played through an injury. I think he'll be better in year 3. Has he lived up to expectations as a first-round pick that the team traded up for? No question, he has not. He had a good rookie year. Especially in terms of volume. I think he had 73 catches, but I think that number was a bit misleading because the impact plays down the field weren't really there all the time, and then certainly took a significant step back, injury-related, in year 2. And so they do need him to improve, to contribute more to this offense. But, the Cooper decision looms large because if he departs in free agency, that opens up, a big hole in terms of you want to find something. I don't know if you're going to find a bona fide number one receiver. You're not going to find Justin Jefferson. You're not even going to find like prime Devontae Adams or anything like that. Probably where you are in the draft, where your cap situation is, and really the free agents out there. There isn't that dominant number one receiver really on the market. I don't even know if you'd classify T. Higgins as that based on the injuries that he's had and things like that. So I think it's going to be more, again, sort of this everybody eats philosophy where they spread the ball around. But for that to be successful, I do think they need somebody that can stretch the field, whether that's a rookie coming in or whether it's a targeted free agent, a guy that isn't going to maybe break the bank but could fill a specific role.
Would you say that it wasn't a big move, but at the same time maybe it was a big move that Gabe Davis was kind of missed this year?
No, I wouldn't.
No?
I don't think so. I mean, Gabe Davis had one amazing playoff game against the Chiefs a few years ago, and I think really the expectations unfairly, maybe a little bit, rose to the level that, he became, I think in fans' minds, even in Bills fans' minds, maybe a little bit more than what he was in terms of, I don't even know if Gabe Davis is a number 2 receiver in the NFL. I think he might be a third option or even a fourth option who got paid like a pretty strong number 2 option.
Yep.
And so I don't think the lack of Gabe, or the departure of Gabe Davis had much to do with this. Honestly, I think it's more, if you want to talk about that, I think it's the Curtis Samuel signing maybe didn't pan out the way that we expected it would. He was very slow to find a role. And so I don't think they miss Gabe Davis all that much, but I do think that they miss that vertical presence.
Jay, what is if you have to kind of give us the handicap or the blueprint of the perfect off season for Buffalo, what does it look like to get them over the top and take down Kansas City? And obviously, you got to deal with Baltimore, everybody else next year. What are the number one most important things on the checklist?
Well, the Eagles provided the blueprint. I mean, the Eagles and then the Bucs a few years ago in the Super Bowl. Kansas City's lost twice in the playoffs in the last 5 years in the Super Bowl, and in both times it was a dominant pass rush that overwhelmed the Chiefs' offensive line and made Patrick Mahomes uncomfortable. That's what the Bills have to do. They've sunk significant resources into their defensive line, both in draft capital and in free agent dollars, and it hasn't panned out the way they needed it to. Von Miller gets hurt, no fault of his own, but you knew that there was a risk of that when you're signing a player deep into his 30s, the way that Von Miller was. Greg Rousseau is a first-round pick. I think he's been a good player. Has he been great? Not in the key moments, right? A.J. Epinesa, second-round pick. Another solid player, sound player, but hasn't risen, his game isn't to the level that they've needed it to in those big moments. So if you're Brandon Beane, I think you look at the Super Bowl, you look at the results, you look at how the Eagles didn't have to blitz a single time and made Mahomes' life a living hell, and you say that's what the recipe has to be for us. That's what we have to do. We have to go out and find that. And obviously speaking with you guys in the trade request from Myles Garrett, I think if you're Brandon Beane, you have to thoroughly investigate that and see if that's an option. And if that's not, you have to go to plan B. But I think they've got to find game changers along the defensive line. That's the recipe for beating Kansas City. We've seen it twice now in the last 5 years.
Yeah, you're right. That's what Tampa did to them, and that's what Philadelphia did in those Super Bowl losses. Want to ask you really quickly about an old friend of ours. He actually got some former Browns in the coordinator positions. Bobby Babich at D.C. did a great job in his first year there. And then now you've brought in Chris Tabor, who was a longtime special teams coordinator of the Browns from 2011 to 2017. What was the impetus behind that move at special teams?
Yeah, a couple years in a row here that they've been bottom 5 in special teams rankings. It was a little interesting. Sean McDermott immediately after the season said that he was not going to make a change. Obviously, reverse course, and then Sunday morning, Super Bowl Sunday morning, he does make the change, and I'm not surprised. Honestly, Matthew Smiley's a heck of a guy. I think he worked hard, but the results just weren't there over the last couple of years. And when you're a team like the Bills with Super Bowl aspirations, you don't want to have your special teams being an area that you're concerned about losing games because of. And I think they directly or indirectly this past season, led to some moments. They had a block punt return for a touchdown against the Rams. The Chiefs had a long return that set up a touchdown in the AFC Championship game. Those types of breakdowns, I think, were just too frequent. And so I think McDermott saw that there was an opportunity maybe to upgrade, at least in terms of the coordinator position on special teams. And so for me, it was not a surprising move, and I think it ultimately could be a good move for this team.
Jay, great stuff. Thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate the insight today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
All right, there he goes. Jay Skursky, Buffalo's beat writer from the Buffalo News, on the Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea Hotline, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Look, they're whatever their problems are, they ain't that big because they got a quarterback.
They got Josh Allen.
So
it's the ultimate eraser, the panacea, if you will.
Truly is. It fixes it, man, and they can go a whole lot of different directions into what they do this offseason, but they're going to be competitive. They're going to be invited to the dance, and they're going to have a chance to win the ultimate prize at the dance. So, and they can do so because they have the MVP at quarterback.
Yep.
Shaduer Sanders hopes at some point he is of that level at the quarterback position. You will hear from him in an extended conversation with Kevin Clark coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Hey, Browns fans, this month's winner of the local business platform presented by Minutemen is Redbeard Seasonings. Redbeard Seasonings started as a hobby in a home kitchen, has since blossomed into a collection of often original recipe flavors, pepper sauce, steak and brisket chips, and even coffee. Check them out today. Learn more about the local business platform. Visit browns.com/community/local business platform. And now here's Shaduer Sanders on prepping for the NFL draft, potentially going number 1 overall. It's courtesy of the This Is Football podcast with Kevin Clark. Let's have a listen.
All right, Shaduer Sanders is
you guys are down.
Best prospects in this draft, one of the most electrifying guys in recent college football history. He's here with Gatorade. What's going on, buddy?
How you doing? I'm just blessed to be here.
I'm excited. So let's start here. You're going through the draft process. Like, where are you right now? Like, what are you working on? Do you self-scout? Are you trying to get better at something? Like right now in February, we're working on what?
For me right now is weight gaining, staying in the weight room consistently, and just picking up my weight right now.
Yeah. What does that entail? You're in New Orleans. You can eat a lot.
I eat a lot at home. My dad makes sure I get free meals, so I'm definitely thankful for that. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a lot of snacks. So
What's the most common meal right now?
There's nothing common. Our chef at home is very creative, I would say, and he knows how to mix it up. So I never my taste never is bad. Everything tastes good.
I love that. Let's start with the scouting part here. If a GM says to you, show me the play that defines you on your college tape, what are you going to show them?
It's not one play. Yeah, you got to – like people often ask me, like, what's your favorite game? Just any game.
You brought in all of them? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, I did what I was able to do, and I don't hide or I don't regret, pretty much anything I did, so – that's who I am.
I like that. Obviously, you've been around NFL football your entire life.
Yeah.
Who would you say, and we'll talk about your dad in a second, but who would you say outside of that are your quarterbacking mentors? Like, who are the folks that...
The main was Mike Vick.
Okay.
So I sat down and talked to him a lot at the East-West Shrine game, and it was just good connecting with him, and I know we're playing in... the game Saturday together, which would be fun, but I just love being around him, love talking to him, love hearing his insight.
What is the number one thing he's taught you?
Just keep doing you. That was it. It's hard to give one piece of advice because it's about life, it's about on the field, off the field. It's different levels to everything, and it may have hit home right at that time, whenever we talked about and discussed it, but every conversation we have is very impactful for me.
That's great. I'm curious, any draft prospect, you just hear so much BS about yourself, and people say...
I'm used to that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at.
That don't matter to me.
You see tweets, and it's, of course that's not true or whatever, and that's every draft prospect, but then you add in the Colorado part, the Coach Prime part, it's like that times a million to see everything.
Deion Sanders' son part.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I'm just wondering... if you could if you even care, if you could wave a wand and change something about the narrative where you just get people to understand something about you as a player, would you?
I wouldn't change anything. I don't need to prove myself to those that that's not on the team and those who's not franchise I'm going to lead. So whoever feels a way about anything, they could feel the way because I know they don't genuinely know me. They have never met me. They're reading stuff, with somebody's job is to create content, and create conversion and all this different type of stuff, so that's their job, so I don't even be mad at it at that point.
How are you able to shut that out? Because I'm sometimes like, what the heck are they talking about? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just been like that for my whole life. They said I couldn't do it in high school and I did it. They said I couldn't do it in Jackson, I did it. They said I couldn't do it in Colorado, I did it. So it's like, now who am I playing for? To prove people wrong? No, I'm playing because I love the game and because I love proving myself right.
Talk about your relationship with Cam Ward. I went to Miami. I saw every single snap of his. I think he's amazing. But obviously you guys are close. You guys work out together. I see some of those viral clips. You guys go at it.
Yeah.
Is it cool to be that close with just being the top?
It's cool that we close because if we wasn't, then the media would definitely try to pin us against each other. And a lot of stuff we just be saying, even in the viral clip stuff, we genuinely play around crazy. We definitely play around crazy, and that's just the relationship, so it's good that we have a relationship because a lot of people try to take things and put it out of context and anything, and it's just like it's childish.
Obviously, you're gonna look at a million quarterbacks and try to learn something from tape on each. But like, if you could just model yourself after a couple of guys, who are the guys you watch the tape and you say, I want to be able to do that at the NFL level?
I watch my own tape and feel like, okay, what can I improve? That's where I see. I'm able to see, okay, the flaws in my game and what I got to get better at, and what will make me a very flawless quarterback and will help me exceed at the next level. So I can't look up to nobody because those are the people I'm playing against. I can't idolize somebody I'm about to play against. Like, that's not a thing I would do.
I like that outlook. I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
that's a good way.
I mean, my dad, the best player to ever play the game. Like, you think I got other people I look up to like that? Nah, he done did it. So if it's anybody outside of him, then that's a little bit disrespectful.
I agree, but it's a different position.
Still though, it's a different position, but the core values are the same.
Did your dad teach you a lot about how to manipulate defensive backs and stuff like that, just because?
Yeah, he put me on defense when I was young.
Okay. And what did you learn from that experience?
Coverage.
Yeah.
Coverage in that perspective. So playing nickel, down safety, like knowing what I got to do. So it's real fun. It's just like a puzzle.
Yeah.
On a board. You just got to continue, like, beat it with a throw or be able to understand what coverage it is and get into the right stuff and understand what's not good for this coverage. And I like it. It's
Quick
like
hits.
playing chess.
I like that. Quick hitters. If you could play with any wide receiver in the NFL, who would it be?
Whatever team has the great receivers that I'm drafted to.
I like that. And then we do something called Badasses. It's the most badass teammate you've ever had. Like, toughest, grittiest, whatever you want to call it. Who's your badass?
Shiloh.
Tell me about Shiloh.
Care. He don't care. Like, he don't care. No matter what anybody say at the end of the day, he gonna do him. You know, so Shiloh definitely, I would say, I've seen him before run as hard as he can somebody and get and he's actually knocked out, you know. It's like, so I've seen it. Like, he's crazy.
I love that. Tell us what you're doing with Gatorade.
Gatorade, I'm here. We just left the Gatorade lab. It was an amazing experience. They're just overall showing you about the product and showing you, you know, just helping you get the competitive edge over other players.
Last thing for you. If you don't go number one, are you the type that holds a grudge forever?
Why would I be mad?
That's what I like.
Nah, you got to understand. I think about it like this. These are good problems to have.
I completely agree.
You could be in a way worse situation, you know. So being number one, that don't really matter to me at the end of the day.
I like that.
That don't matter to me because, yeah, I could go number one, but it may not be a fit.
Right.
You know, or I could go number two and it be a fit. Or I could go number three and it be a fit. You know, so it's all about fit. It don't matter. Either any situation you're going into is not going to be the best situation.
Yeah.
So the numbers of it don't really. I ain't caught up on that.
Yeah.
But that's why I say I'm thankful that the other prospects that's going 1, 2, or 3 that I believe, you know, we're all cool.
Yeah.
So that's the best thing about it, and it's just like we'll be able to sit there and talk. Hey, you talk to this team, and he was like, nah. I said, nah, that's crazy. I ain't talking to them either. You know, so it's like it's crazy like that, and it's fun like that we're able to be.
All right, we gotta get out of here. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate you.
All right, there you go. Good stuff with Shaduer and Kevin Clark from the This Is Football podcast. The Mailbag coming your way next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. G-Man? G-Man?
That's unreal out of me.
Wow, Nana, the
G-Man.
hero, G-Man.
Oh, no.
Who got to hear all that?
All right, so do you and I, do we do anything to make Gibby aware of this, or do we protect our boy?
We protect G-Man.
Yeah, because he's our Stevie, so he'll take care of us.
Of course we will.
Right.
We'll
We
take
got
care
your
of
back,
G-Man.
You would have been able
Never
to hear
happened.
Here's my question,
Never
though,
happened.
G-Man. Who was hearing the greatness that just happened?
850 ESPN Cleveland. Good karma.
So
brand station.
stream no.
Stream no.
Okay.
Right.
So what did we decide for giving up bananas, Foster? We discovered that the Minnesota shoreline.
No,
thing?
but that's inaccurate. So that wasn't a fact. Alaska's the biggest.
We're giving up beer and fries.
Beer, fries,
And vodka.
And vodka.
So I can
And
only
vodka.
from now on I will only have a Bloody Maria.
Juanita.
Fine.
There you go. Mr. Hamp to you. Better comedic run, Mike Myers or Adam Sandler?
I'll tell you what. One of the big mysteries to me is the fact that you never get on a flip through, which I know I'm
Big
speaking
flip.
your
Love to
language.
flip,
You're
yeah.
a huge flip guy. You never get where are the Austin Powers movies?
I don't know.
They are they're all
awesome.
funny.
Yeah.
Every single one. My kids have never seen them. I showed them a trailer the other night, and they're like, I'm like, what?
Yeah,
no,
it's
these
great. It's great.
These movies are electric.
Yeah.
So I Married an Axe Murderer? Where's that on a flip?
Never.
Unbelievable film.
Great film. Yeah. Heed.
I mean, what are we doing?
I would for me Myers. I preferred. I loved him on SNL. I don't like the only Sandler movies I like, and I always get hell from this, are Madison and Gilmore. That's it. The rest of them I could do without. I don't like Big Daddy. I don't like
Waterboy?
It's fine, but those two,
Bobby Boucher?
those two are unbelievable. Madison and Gilmore, like they're perfect, and everything else I could do without. I love the Sandman. I do like him. I think he's funny when he does interviews, and it's just not for me. And I think the Myers, Austin Powers, that trilogy is greater than Madison and Gilmore to me. I think that's where I am.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Another one from Richie Fox. What was your favorite board game to play with your kids?
Oh, dude, Mega Monopoly. We just got it over Christmas. It's a game changer. Play the whole game in like an hour and 15 minutes. It happens quick. You don't need all the properties. The other one we play is the farming game. We play the farming game and then Mega Monopoly. Mega Monopoly is amazing.
You love Mega Monopoly.
It's awesome.
We got to get on
An hour
it.
and 15 minutes. It's awesome.
We got to get on it.
All right, our friends at Browns Backers North Jersey. Who is the best cereal mascot?
The best cereal mascot. The little Lucky Charms guy is kind of a winner, isn't he?
I love Lucky Charms. Out on the Trix Bunny.
I don't like Trix. I don't like the Trix Bunny.
Well, tricks are for kids, guys.
Yeah,
I
we're
just
adults.
thought the flavor sucked.
Yeah, flavor was very
like
flat.
between to me, like I prefer. I didn't like
Dr. J's attention with
Fruit
that.
Loops or Trix, but Fruit Loops gretter than Trix.
Fruit
for me.
Loops definitely greater than Trix, but I don't like
Sure,
that
but both of
toucan
them
can
are out.
go.
He can go. I got no time. I like the
Frosted
freaking
Flakes. They're
I was going to say, where's Tony,
the
Tony the Tiger.
Strong.
Yeah.
Official sponsor.
Wasn't
of the
there
Sunday.
There was a
what about the Cookie Crisp guy?
Yeah, that guy. He was good.
I like
there was
that
a
guy.
Frankenberry and all those guys.
Frankenberries.
Count Chocula.
Frankenberry, the greatest of those cereals by far.
What is that? Is that in Wedding Crashers? He goes Count Chocula.
Yeah. Sorry, Count Chocula. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, those are good ones. The Smacks guy, the frog from Smacks, he was pretty good. Remember that frog?
Honeycomb never had a mascot.
All the
What about the Cinnamon Toast Crunch guys?
Oh, yeah.
They happen to make the
crazy-
best cereal that's
crazy
ever been
squares.
made.
It's the greatest cereal of all time. The idea though now that my kids are aware of Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles and enjoy Fruity Pebbles especially, with no point of reference on who the Flintstones are. Like the Flintstones are extinct,
I'll tell you what.
but
I
that
think
cereal still
Fruity
lasts.
Pebbles. And by
There's a good mouthfeel to it.
the
Chocolate.
I think the
Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles are the
Cocoa
only
Pebbles.
pebbles that are okay. By the way, where's Captain Crunch at these days? Is he still around? Is there still Crunchberry?
There definitely is Crunch Berries. There's Oops All Berries edition of Crunch Berries that you just get the berries. That's the one Bootsy's all about.
You got to be careful with Captain Crunch though.
Ooh,
Like it might.
Rough mouth.
Oh man,
Mouth
could
feels
just
tough.
Dude.
Don't be aggressive. I think the two
It
most
could
violent.
rip-
Cuts on the gums.
Oh,
That's
man.
what I mean. The two most violent mouthfeels are Totino's Pizza Rolls and anything Captain Crunch. Totino's will burn the roof of your mouth. You know it going in, and you eat it anyway too fast, and then all the Captain Crunches will cause bleeding.
Oh, man.
Let them sit in the milk for a minute.
The three most dangerous things to the roof of your mouth from a food standpoint are as follows.
Totino's, pizza rolls.
Captain Crunch. A real, legit French baguette.
Yes.
No doubt. Those things are some of the corners on those.
And then you're saying it doesn't matter. Any type of pizza
Hot
that's
Pocket.
too hot.
Or a hot. It's when it's enclosed.
Yeah.
And
But
it
even a
can't be
pizza,
air.
when you bite a pizza and it wasn't
It's
time.
so rare, though, to even get one of those. I can pull one out if I heat it at 400, and even within a couple of seconds.
Yeah. But
On
the
the
enclosed
Totino's
Hot
or the
Pocket, you have no
Hot-
idea
forget
what you're
it.
biting into.
No, forget it.
The difference, though, I would say you have some slight protection from those from the upper crust because you're not biting directly cheese. Where you get it is where the cheese adheres and just
sticks.
burns off the top of your mouth.
I think with the Hot Pockets, the sauce is more of the
sometimes the
problem.
sauce.
It's
almighty.
lava.
I'll tell you what.
Lava. It is lava, Jimmy.
And I only microwave rarely what I have to do is, but let's say I'm having a prime rib bone a day after the king of the meats, and you microwave it on like a 25% power so that it's a slow. But then that first bite in, sometimes that meat when you get close to the bone can be on another level, brother. And it can take some of you with it.
You're right.
Jordan says the cinnamon stick and apple from Apple Jacks. By the way, I feel
Apple
like that's
Jacks.
an honorable mention.
The cinnamon stick,
I don't
was
remember
that a
cinnamon
character?
stick.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
we were talking about cereal mascots. That's
No, I don't remember
There's a
that.
cinnamon stick mascot.
I remember Apple Jacks, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't
Same.
remember that.
yeah, and he was Jamaican, too. Love a Dog Today asks, how long do you think you'd last on a survival show like Alone?
What are you giving me? Do I get a knife? Do I get a flint? Do I get matches?
Do I just get
how
my
much food? Am I just
Do I
on
get
my
my
own?
will and my desire to stay alive? I'm
a
gonna last a long time.
I think I can last a long time.
I'll give you your glasses so you could start a fire with the sun.
Like if I have to
I
catch
need the
that rabbit
glasses.
and I have to go,
Yeah, I can do that.
I'll eat it.
Yeah, give me a knife.
I need a knife. You got to skin the animal.
You got to be able to do that. I think a knife. If I had a knife, I feel like it'd last a long time.
All right. Some more SNL questions here. Dog Pound Cleveland Brown asks, which is the better Farley skit, Van Down by the River or the coffee commercial where he flips out?
Oh, that's the one with Taster's Choice, the crystals. He gets mad that they're instant. It's great. That one's great. Van Down by the
remember that
River.
one.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's Taster's Choice, and they're like, what would you do if I told you these were Taster's Choice crystals and not real coffee? And he goes, what? It's unbelievable. It's great. So the two most iconic from Farley are Chippendales with Patrick Swayze and Van Down by the River. Those are the two most iconic, I think. There's also one where he's on a Japanese game show, which is amazing.
It's that one where he's in the teal. He's like in
Yeah.
the teal jacket. Oh yeah. No, that one is
the Japanese
fantastic.
game show is unbelievable too, where he doesn't understand what's going on, and at the end of it, he keeps advancing, and at the end, it's like death, which is unbelievable.
I also
Those
like
are
the one.
strong.
Paul McCartney's great. Look, he's doing it again.
That's right.
I think he's just making. I think he's on a
just doing
loop.
rounds.
He's doing loops.
He's got business
Yeah.
over there, business over here. Then we'll go over here, do a little business, point to people, good to see you. Poor girl.
It's just like what?
What is going on? She's like, huh? What are we doing?
Oh man, that's good. That's good. The Paul McCart when he's like, yeah, that was
great.
awesome.
That's gonna be you when you interview Jeff Jordan.
Oh man,
do you remember that time in Atlanta? You
Yeah.
threw for 490. Not yet.
Where are we at,
Get
G-Man?
there. Could be there. Could be soon. I'm gonna sit it out. When we do it, I'm just gonna introduce Jeff George, and I'm just gonna give you the time.
Give me the floor,
I want the full
It's going to be
floor.
a surprise.
Yeah.
G-Man. I'm going to say something right now because sometimes apparently people need more motivation than I thought that they needed.
Hey, we got one for G-Man. Oh, go ahead, real quick.
G-Man, I'm going to give you exactly 1 month. March 13th, or else what happened here today will become known.
Oh, baby.
Oh, no. The Ides of March.
The Ides of March for the G-Man. Enough from the Clown wants to know, G-Man, the thing that has surprised you most so far working at Browns Daily.
Great question.
Good job. Enough from the Clown.
Yeah, I don't know.
Great answer. So much
G-Man,
more to
this
come.
was
You're
your
listening to Cleveland
moment.
Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
2 minutes.
G-Man, the official Nana of CBD, is not at all pleased with your non-answer, and she said, I demand to hear G-Man's answer. So
she wants your answer.
Let's
You've had
go.
a couple of minutes to think about it.
Nothing surprised me.
Did you listen to the show before you got here? Like,
a little bit.
Okay.
Nothing surprised me. I was very pleased when I got here to see like what the team atmosphere is. I mean, there's a lot of good personalities in here, man.
A lot of affability, a lot of friendship, a lot of brotherhood and fellowship.
Yeah.
We got the Bishop from Bishop and Friends.
Yeah,
we do.
That's right.
You kidding
That's
me?
right. We're all here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, man.
We're live and in color, Daddy.
Were you surprised at Gibby's constant undercutting of Z?
A little bit, yeah. Seems like you're at why would you want to be at odds with Zagura all the time?
No, I see. I'm a pretty nice guy. Pretty easy to get along with. I'm very positive.
This is before your time, but like another one of the great moments of the show is when Joe Thomas was sitting here, and the Hoff goes, "Wait, what?" So it seemed. Why does he undermine the show? Right. Why is he trying to undermine the show? We're like, I don't know.
He's like, you seem pretty great. I love you. Why is he trying to hurt you?
Why is Gibby actively trying to undermine the show?
Yes.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, he is. Yeah. I like that. That, you know what? When somebody asked earlier what you would like, that he enjoys the team environment that we foster. Would you say, out of every 100 funny moments that you've encountered here in this office and in this studio with us, how many of them happen off air? What percentage?
Off air? Probably like 90%.
The show behind the show is unbelievable.
It would be outrageous.
The show behind the show is
so good.
Yeah,
we covered a lot of genres.
Like After Hours.
Quite a few genres.
Quite a few.
CBD
People are
After
saying.
Hours. The people are saying.
Yeah.
Might be even better than the real show. People are saying it. All right. Enjoy your long weekend, kids. We are back tomorrow. The next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening.
But that's fine. Enjoy your long weekend. All of us.
ESPN Cleveland.